Yes, my friends, and welcome back to the Jon Mahon Show, powered as always by Forever Loud.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
It's like we never left.
First show of 2024, episode number 24 as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at that synergy.
Look how crazy numbers are.
Yeah, it's like we planned it.
Yeah, and speaking of numbers, it's like it's 1985.
Oh, that is a beautiful segue.
And so what was it? When that song came out, it's now closer to when this song came out than that song came out was to 1985.
Wow.
No,
Further away.
Further away. Even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So when that song came out,
statistic.
Yeah. So we're actually, yeah.
There's someone out there just coming up with
Well,
rock
someone
facts
did.
to make people feel old.
I think someone did a cover of it, but they changed the
changed the lyrics
to 2005 or something.
Yeah,
like
and they changed like the themes of the lyrics. Yeah, I did see that.
But the reason we're talking about that
Is because our first live guest of 2024 is going to be Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup. He'll be joining us at 7:05, so quite literally in 3 minutes. Very fast out of the gates into our first interview of the year, which is how we want to start. Just start hot.
yeah, so hot, so I don't know. I was thinking
Were you
of so
fishing-
fresh,
were you
fresh
fishing
and so
for a
clean,
saying?
but hot's not in there.
No.
Yeah, hot and fresh. Well, I'm not. Are you feeling fresh this new year?
Fresh-ish.
I was feeling fresh until I drank the other night, and then
Bring me the horizon.
I haven't felt fresh since then.
Yeah, I was ill over Christmas. Yeah, like not fun. So you know when you're forced to rest, like you have to spend time in bed and it's not the same as just actually relaxing. Like it was like I physically couldn't do anything. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And over Christmas as well, because it's like you have to do all the family stuff and
Yeah. Plus, it was our birthdays as well. Happy birthday.
not on the same day.
Yeah, not on the same.
Yours is arguably worse than mine.
Yeah, for sure.
24th.
Sure.
Because no one's like, I guess people do go out on the 24th.
I was lucky this year because of the 23rd falling on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That was a bit of luck because I was DJing with Benji Webb from Skindred in Birmingham over at the Devil's Dog, and then
Did he wish you a happy birthday?
he did, yeah, it did say happy birthday.
I was going to do an impression then. Happy birthday, Jon. That was terrible.
That's a solid Benji Webb impression. And then a couple of days later, it's your
Get a
birthday.
little Newport birthday helicopter.
Birthday copter.
Yeah, 29th. And I turned 21. Can you believe it?
He doesn't look a day over 18.
I
does
look
he?
terrible for 21. So,
Oh, not at all. I think you make a gorgeous 21-year-old.
yeah. I mean, 21 going on 40. I'm not 40, by the way.
No, Ollie's not 40. 25.
I used to work with a voiceover artist who won't be named, who was also a radio DJ. I mean, some people could probably figure out, but no one cares that much. But his stage age was just always 27. And he was just...
No matter how old he got.
Yeah, I probably worked with him for like 5-6 years.
Stage age is still a thing.
But he was just always 27 over 5 years that I've known, that I knew.
Like, are there anyone in bands or making music who still have stage ages, do you reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, my friends, let's talk about today's show, because joining us in probably about 60 seconds time is Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup. Oh no, Jaret's already here. Whoa, damn.
Let's
Well,
give us 1 second.
in which case, Ollie's just going to line us up on screen, because that didn't pop up on screen. Usually, when our guests are here, we get a little notification on our screen, but it didn't happen this time.
There we go.
Well, my friends, let's introduce to you a man who sings in a punk rock band. He almost got drunk at school at 14, where he almost made out with a homecoming queen. He has around 110 tattoos. He's way more country than you. And one time in Las Vegas, Garth Brooks said he was a fan. My friends, please welcome to the Jon Mahon Show, Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Yeah.
We are very well, sir. How are you?
Doing very good. Yeah, I didn't know if I was on yet when this thing started, and so I was just sitting here trying to trying to play along with your conversation. Be like, maybe stage ages are a thing. Do you guys remember? So you guys are too young, but there was this show called The Comic Strip in the UK, and from it came this fake band called Bad News. It was Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson and legends, right? Nigel Planner was part of it. The guys from the Young Ones, basically. And anyway, they had like this whole thing where they were just like, how old are you? 28. I'm sorry, 17. And they would play up on all of that stage age thing. Like I don't know that really does exist anymore. I know that there's a few people that I've run into that they just don't talk about how old they are.
They duck the question.
I feel like maybe in the rock world it's less so. I think maybe some pop stars are lying a bit.
Feel like, honestly, I feel like as we were coming up, like that, I feel like age was sort of this whole thing. Like, because I remember when I turned 30, I was, we were just starting to break. Okay. And I remember sort of being a little embarrassed to tell people that I was 30 years old, Damn. But I feel like nowadays it just doesn't matter. For whatever reason, like people just don't care.
Well, look at Jelly Roll.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, that's a great, and honestly, a lot of those, big country stars that are coming out are not young.
Yeah. Did you see his acceptance speech that he gave at that award show?
Yeah.
Oh, that was powerful shit, man. Powerful shit. It made me want to run through a brick wall for the guy.
I know. That dude, and he's like, he's testifying in front of Congress on the fentanyl problem. And, he's definitely, for whatever he did to get himself into trouble previously in life, the guy is certainly doing what he can to make up for it and show that you can be rehabilitated,
Oh, 100%. 100%. A fantastic role model. And especially like with, some of the podcast work he's been doing recently. I saw him on Theo Von's podcast where...
Yeah, he was on Flagrant as well.
Yeah, where they were just opening up and he had Theo Von in tears at one point with some of the stuff that he was talking about. So more musicians with messages like that, please.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, sticking on a country front, let's
nice little segue.
Yeah, it's almost like a plan. I did have it later on in the interview, but it's a too nice a segue to pass up. Let's talk about the country stuff. When did you first want to start dabbling into country music?
Yeah, so I grew up, in a small town here in Texas, and smaller town. I mean, but kind of off by itself, and country was king. So I grew up listening to pretty much whatever my parents listened to, but also what I was exposed to outside of the house was the same kind of thing. And again, I'm 51, and so Urban Cowboy was this big movie back when I was a really, when things were very influential in my life that I would see, and so I was just a country kid until around 5th or 6th grade, and until I discovered metal. But so that's my background in all of it. And it's been very influential even in Bowling for Soup's music. I mean, if you think about our songs, they're very story-ish, and that's 100% from the country part of things. Like I don't really know that there's another pop punk band that really is as story oriented as we are.
Maybe like a NoFX, like Fat Mike's quite good at telling like a story if he wants to.
He is very good at telling a story. In fact, I told him recently that I was just like, I just don't know how you're ever going to pump up the volume, that record, because there's so many of those on there, and he was like, well, that's my favorite record too. And I was like, you're just saying that. And then he told me to shut up. But yeah, so long story long, I always wanted to do a country record, but I didn't really know how to go about it. If Bowling for Soup would have done it, it would have just been seen as a novelty, and we probably would have even approached it as such. But I really wanted to put out a real record. I mean, I've already kind of done the side projects, Jarrett and Kelly, Jarinus, People on Vacation. So COVID happened. The first year I wrote the newest Bowling for Soup record, Pop Drunk Snot Bread. And then the second year, my buddy Zach was just like, dude, you've been talking about doing this country thing for 15 years. We got the time. Let's just do it.
Hell yeah.
So we did it.
Hell yeah.
And it was really a foot dabble, it was really like I was just sticking my foot in the water, and I was gonna just, put this record out and play a few shows. And then, people started to like it, and the band came together really well. And it just, I was just having breakfast with a good friend of mine the other day, and I said, I'm doing all the things I said I wasn't ever going to do again. I bought a van. Now I'm pulling a trailer again. Like I'm setting up my own shit. Like it's just, it's like all of those things that I said I'm never going to do that again. And here I am doing it. But I'm having a ball, and, luckily people like it.
You live in that country life. Get in your truck, drink some beer, send a prayer to the man upstairs.
That's what's crazy is that I do have that song "Way More Country," and my first car was a pickup truck. I mean, I drove pickup trucks for years and years, and I certainly have always had a pair of cowboy boots. And it's you can take the guy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the guy, kind of thing.
I think there was a meme when it was like country is just pop punk emo with acoustic guitars and cowboy hats.
You're so not wrong, and that emo's spot on. I mean, honestly, I say this all the time. Bowling for Soup songs, when they're first written, they're written on this guitar right here.
Let's go.
And they sound like country songs.
Yeah.
I mean, until we start to put drums on it and it speeds up, and then I do the thing with my voice, and we put octave guitars on it and stuff, and it's like, then it starts to sound, oh, okay, well, that sounds like you guys, But it's sort of like when we do a cover song, how, we'll take a song like that Miley Cyrus song "Flowers" and make it sound like a pop punk song.
Yeah.
Sort of just what we do with the things that I write.
Yeah.
So that's that YouTuber Alex Melton. He's on Pure Noise Records now. He's got a whole album of
I miss y'all.
Yeah, turning pop punk songs into country songs, and it works so well because I think it's you just translate it onto guitar, slow it down a bit, add a bit more southern twang, and then you got a country song.
Yeah, what's funny is too the arrangements are about the same. So so punk rock, pop punk, or whatever. We pretty much stayed with, especially the punk side of this. We stayed with the whole like verse, chorus, 8-bar break, chorus, and you're done, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like Bowling for Soup, we're big on bridges. So like it's verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out. But most of that country stuff, and especially the classic stuff, there's no bridge. So there are 2.5 to 3 minute punk rock songs.
Damn.
And if you speed them up and you put distortion on your guitar or whatever, and you act a little angsty, they're perfect punk rock songs. And that's really, again, when people are like, was it a tough transition musically? It was the easiest thing I've ever done, because I really didn't change anything.
That's amazing. And what I love as well is you kept so much of your personality in there, because I mean, like, you've got like the sillier versions of songs where you do like the Ohio version acoustically, and like you make it country, and it suits being country so hard. But then you got the more serious ones like "Drunk as It Takes" featuring Frank Turner. And was that Thomas Nichols from American Pie in the music video?
It was, yeah. So me and Thomas are good buddies, and I've helped him with a few songs, and it was actually my wife's idea. I was just gonna get like a guy. Like, "Dude, one of your best friends is like a real actor. Why don't you just ask him?" And I was so glad I did, because it's funny, because I just think about him as being Tom, and he's real, just all the time. Tom is always on fire, always. And he got into that character, and it was weird. I mean, it was like, again, the reason why actors are actors and musicians are musicians, but musicians want to be actors and actors want to be musicians, right? But when you saw him get into that character and sit there at that bar or whatever, and you just felt it. Like I remember, and if you guys watching this or listening to this haven't seen the video, go check it out, because it's actually really cool how we got Frank Turner in it, by the way, like, because we didn't have access to him for him to be in the video, and so the way we got him in there is pretty cool. But,
can I just pull you up on that, because that was genius. Like, let's talk about that, because like, I mean, you can tell the story, but like the production way and like the idea of bringing in, or like, obviously, being in bands, you can have conflict of schedules all the time. Someone can't get to the same place you are. Things have got a timeline, and the way you made this work was so clever.
Yeah, it just it's just because we all are so tied to our phones all the time, and so essentially we just had Frank literally he's a busy guy. I consider myself a busy guy, but I think Frank is up there. And again, a dear friend and very gracious with his time to even be on the song. But when it came time to do the video, I'm like, hey man, like, do you think you could do this in the next couple of days? And he literally said, I'm almost in my hotel room. I'm just going to shoot it in my hotel room. And I was like, that's perfect. Because I don't want it to be like you're actually like in some sort of a performance thing. So it was almost like Thomas was talking to a friend on his phone. And yeah, it was very well edited by my good buddy Sean, who does work for us. And yeah, it came out great. There's a lot of emotion in that video. Like I mean, I literally was in tears a few times while we were filming it, and the crazy thing about that song is that particular song I wrote 13 years ago.
What?
When I was trying to become a writer in Nashville, and I went and I started to sort of do all these co-writes there, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the vibe. It didn't suit me very well. I didn't like, and I get it, they have their thing, but it's very much just like an assembly line, and they're just assembling all these songs and then just throwing them out there or whatever. And I was just like, where's the heart in all of this? And I'm not putting myself above or below anybody. I'm just saying it wasn't my thing, but I walked away with that particular song. And so when I started to put all these songs together, I played it for my wife, who is much younger than me because I'm a rock star. and so I played it for her, and I just go, does this sound old? And she goes, no, it sounds like you playing country. And I was just like, right. And so, I was so glad I did it, and it was, it's my second biggest hit, country wise so far. So, it certainly aged very well.
I'm so glad you did it as well, man, because like it's so great to see that side of you, because obviously with Bowling for Soup's lineage, like you guys have always embraced the sense of humor. Like you've flown the flag on how to have fun as being a band, but showing this vulnerable side of yourself, and lyrically, melodically, and then optically with the video as well, like as a complete package. Like you as the band playing at the bar whilst Tom's going through this heartbreak storyline. Like it was so great to see that you had that in you, and you can still like deliver these kinds of performances on both ends of the spectrum.
Thank you, man. And yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that with the country stuff, Bowling for Soup, I do write a lot from the heart, and there are a lot of heartfelt songs, Turbulence and When We Die and Me With No You and things like that. But I really am fairly careful how deep I go with Bowling for Soup, because I understand what we are. We are exactly as you said, and we found our niche, and we stayed doing what we do, and we're it's like, I always equate it to like, if you buy a Bad Religion, well, even NoFX, right? If you buy a NoFX or a Bad Religion record, you know exactly what you're going to get. We have not evolved. We've just gotten better, as far as musicians and singers and writers and stuff. And so, there are bands that have changed along the way. And so for me, I know what Bowling for Soup is, and I know what Bowling for Soup means to people. I know what it means to me, and as far as like, we're that release from the heaviness a lot of times. So the country thing, by doing it solo and by it just being me, it allows me to explore things like divorce and finding siblings that you never knew you had, and my relationship with my parents, I mean, like and my children and things like that, to where like really subject matter wise, it wouldn't make a lot of sense in a Bowling for Soup song unless I sneak it in on you and you don't really know that that's what I'm talking about, which is what I do. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. And I mean, final question about your country stuff. I mean, like, Hop on a Train, beautiful single. Again, like, melodically feels like you're watching a Tarantino film. Then you start singing, and all of a sudden it's like, is there a mechanical bull going? There's people drinking beer on top of tables, people line dancing. Like, it's so much fun. Like, have you got any more country stuff lined up for 2024? Any releases planned?
Man, thank you for asking. We got three songs in the can. I'm hoping to have 2 more done this week before I leave for tour. And I don't know if it's going to be an EP or a full album. It's leaning more towards like a longer EP.
Okay.
That I'm going to release in May. Actually, the weekend that Bowling for Soup turns 30. So it's going to be a big weekend. It's going to be my second album release, and Bowling for Soup's 30th anniversary, and we'll be celebrating 20 years of Hangover You Don't Deserve as well. So
it's a big year.
Just a lot happening all at once.
That's all celebration for just a straight couple of weeks, like pure beer.
How is touring these days? What's your sort of schedule like? Or do you sort of take it easy more than you used to? Or is there still a lot of drinking partying?
It's funny. We're still crazy as far as like the partying is. I mean, we all get on the bus and it's like we're 16 years old, and like we have to, again, we're not young. We have to make effort to a few things. Like we do make ourselves go to bed by 3 or 4 in the morning. We don't stay up till 9 anymore, and we do tend to try and eat like at least one healthy meal a day. And, there's
one vegetable
decisions, right? It's not that rock and roll, but, the fact is we've stayed pretty busy, and last year was a really busy year, but this will be the busiest year of our career. Actually, we're going to be over in the UK at least twice. That has been announced. So notice I'm saying at least
at twice. Least twice. I like
at
it.
At least twice. So we'll be there in February for our soon to be sold out tour with Less Than Jake and the Vandaliers, and then we'll be over for Download. And then we're doing Canada for the first time in 15 years. Wow. And then three-week tours here in the United States. And then all of the stuff that goes in between all that. Excuse me. Not to mention on the months that Bowling for Soup, like say March, August, November, the months that fall where Bowling for Soup isn't on the road, I'll be playing country shows.
Fantastic.
And so, it's as busy as we've ever been, but quite frankly, business is up too. It's crazy to think that we're doing arenas now in the UK, and that's all new. We've never, this is, it's just continued to grow, and the resurgence of the genre certainly hasn't hurt. And so, I vocally credit, the Machine Gun Kellys of the world and the Mod Sons of the world for getting younger kids into this. And then, of course, it doesn't hurt that Blink-182 got back together, and Sum 41 is doing a 2-year breakup tour, and Yellow Card got back together, and, all of this. And then, all of us celebrating all these milestones too. It's like you got Simple Plan out there celebrating an album anniversary, and Newfound Glory celebrating. So we're all just in your face. There's all these old men just touring around playing fun pop punk music, and it's just awesome. We're having the time of our life.
I always think it's wild that like there's kids that probably weren't born when you came out that are now discovering you. Because it's like I remember you from like the early 2000s. It's when I first heard your band. But then you speak to some kids now, and like they were born in 2004 or whatever. It's like
we'll have, honestly. I mean, it's pretty nuts. We can have 3 and sometimes 4. I mean, it's possible for us to have like 4 generations.
Wow.
We were a bar band in the 90s. So
back in my day,
you had some person in their 30s that was coming to see us. Well, they've already had kids, and their kids have had kids, and now those kids are freaking 20 years old, and so it's 3 generations is not uncommon at all. But I believe we have entered the area where they're bringing a little kid, and it's a 4 generation.
Loads of little Jarets running around.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I do have a look around sometimes just to see if there's any kids with real spiky hair that seem like they're out of control. I'm like, okay, could that be one of mine? I don't know. But you're so right. Well, and the other thing is that 1985 was such a huge hit in 2005, but that's also when Phineas and Ferb came out. And so there's this whole portion of the youth who are just now becoming adults who like that was their childhood, so you're right. There are a lot of kids that'll be like, that weren't even born when we started this band for sure. There's a lot of these kids that are coming to our shows that, were born around the time we were having hits. But sure. I mean, when we play colleges, you got to think those kids are 18 and 20 years old. It's like Hangover You Don't Deserve is 20. Yeah. High School Never Ends is only 18 years old,
Wow.
Old enough to drink here anyway.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Dude, that's mental.
Well, I guess like Disney Plus has all the Phineas and Ferb stuff, so there'll be like kids watching that now.
Yep.
That will hear you on the soundtrack.
Yeah, not to mention Jimmy Neutron. I mean, because we did that movie, and then Scooby-Doo and, all these other things. And so there's all this exposure. And what's cool is that the parents will say to their kids like, hey, oh, that's one of my favorite bands from when I was a kid. That's Bowling for Soup. And then to the kid, they're like, oh, well, that's cool. I have something in common with my parents, and so, I feel like, we still sound similar enough to where we have that youthful thing to where we still are kind of that band where young people and their parents agree, where they're just like, all right, let's have at least one thing in common.
Yeah.
What's it going to be,
And it's this fun thing right here.
Yeah. It can a lot of times. My agent says it really well. He goes, for that first generation of Bowling for Soup fans, we were the first band that their parents let them buy the album, even though we said shit on every song.
Do you know what? I think that was me.
Yeah.
As a 13-year-old, whatever.
Yeah, he was just like, you guys are like, you're like that anomaly of like, all right, fuck it. We're going to let you guys.
The thing is, the music sounds happy enough that you get away with it.
Yeah, we kind of sneak it in there a little bit, because you got to think, and especially in the UK too, which is really where we blew up first. The bitch song was our first big hit over there, and it did not do well here in the United States,
really?
At all, but it was massive over there because of the video and all of that. Yeah, because we don't, and especially back then, you guys had such cool. You had of course, Kerrang TV and Scuzz, and I think this thing called The Box, and these
MTV,
all of these things played videos, and our video channels were already to the point of like they don't play videos anymore. So we just didn't have that outlet unless you were able to get on the radio here, and the bitch song really wasn't ever going to translate to pop radio here.
Yeah,
and so the UK embraced it so quickly, and but it to us. The fact that song was so massive, using a word that you guys don't really use a lot. You guys would say the C word before you would say that.
Yeah.
And over here, we don't use the C word at all. That's just ever, So, but yeah, it's just an interesting thing, to think about, to where it's like, with my kids, it was, you would be surprised that I'm the strict parent, actually.
Damn.
That would probably surprise you.
Just don't
and
be
I'm
like I
the
was.
third one about like, I don't really want to listen to music that with just a bunch of cuss words with you, like just, I don't like it. It doesn't make me, but Eminem, most of his stuff, I'll let it slide because I'm like, yeah, I like Eminem. I think everybody,
and all the words to Stan.
But that was the thing. I remember listening to Eminem. And I was like, how am I getting away with this? There's a song of him killing his wife in the lyrics.
Oh,
yeah.
I was listening to that as like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like in my room. It's like, yeah.
That parental advisory sticker did a lot of heavy lifting.
It really did. Yeah. And he got crazier and crazier as it went, as he got darker, because that first record, there was some dark stuff to it, but he made it sound happy, it's kind of like Bowling for Soup, right? Yeah. And then he started to get into the darker stuff, where he's killing his wife in front of his daughter. And, like, you're just like, wow, but I'm certain that was therapeutic for him because he's, he seems to have
he's done all right for himself.
Yeah, he's leveled out. Well, one thing I actually wanted to rewind to was you just bringing up then Kerrang TV and Scuzz TV, because I mean a lot of my musical discovery, like as a teenager, came from those two channels. Like I got into a band called Busted from the UK. They were massive Green Day fans, so I picked up the Bullet in the Bible live recording that they did, discovered American Idiot and tunes like Jesus of Suburbia. Then that pretty much led me into like metal, but also the broader remit of pop punk, and it was flicking between Kerrang TV and Scuzz TV, watching your music videos, which I'm sure to this day, if you were to bang on Kerrang TV right now, there's a 50-50 chance that a Bowling for Soup music video is going to be being played. Like, how important were music videos to the creation of Bowling for Soup?
Yeah, I mean, huge. Bigger there to start with, because again, they were getting shown. And so, we set the bar pretty high when we started making videos. We had made a few ourselves, but our first big one was the bitch song, obviously. And that was so massive over there. And, we had done it for next to no money, and we had managed to really, really pull some cool stuff off. And so, again, the bar was set pretty high. Emily did okay. And then Girl the Bad Guys Want was just off the chains over there. And it started to do that one started to get traction in other countries. Again, we still really weren't there US wise. Punk Rock 101, same thing. Then 1985, this is the odd part, you guys probably don't even know this because by then the internet age is kind of starting.
Yeah.
But 1985 was actually never released and worked in the UK. Like Hangover You Don't Deserve, but our album was our label was so massive over there. They were like, we can't mess with this over here. So we're just not gonna really do anything with it. But what's crazy is Girl the Bad Guys Want and the Bitch Song were still going over there. And 1985 was massive in the States. Like we actually had a video on TV for the first time, really, and it was like, so VH1 here would show videos in the mornings. It's like this breakfast wake up show thing. And every morning before getting my kids ready for school, every single morning I was seeing it. And so, yeah, I mean, videos. And then of course, again, the internet age starts at that point and videos just really have always been a big deal for us. And something to where like, and I feel like we get a lot of comments about that we make good videos and that, and we've, continue to try to do that. In this day and age, it's hard because it's an investment in your band, but it doesn't really help. It doesn't make itself back. It's like adding a swimming pool to your house. It doesn't up the value to your house.
Yeah, you never see any money back from it, but people tell you that we love your swimming pool.
Exactly. Yeah. So people are like, oh, I love the swimming pool, but it's not going to up the value. And so I've never made that analogy before, but I need to make it up because that's a really good one. But and I'm glad you got it because I didn't know if that was a thing in the UK because it is here. Like places that build a pool, it'll even have the sign on the thing. It's like pool, but nobody gives a shit. They're just like, yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna fill that hole up anyway. So whatever. But
that's amazing.
But yeah, video is always a big deal, and such that even after we got dropped by Jive, when the Turbulence was the first video to make on our own when we're coming back. And I was like, we can't not make a great video, And so I made that video for $5,000 and managed to get a fucking airplane for the day.
Damn, dude.
It just really pulled up. Like we literally had an airplane and it was like running so that we could have it was wild. And, so we managed to really show like, hey, we're not going anywhere, and I felt really proud of that. And we've been self-reliant again since 2009. So we were on Jive for 9 years. And, a lot of people probably don't know that. We're on our own.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And you're doing your best shows today. I think you were saying last year.
It's big, morbid. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wasn't Slam Dunk? I think you said Slam Dunk last year was one of your favorite shows you've ever played. If I'm right,
it was. There was something about that energy. It's all of my favorite shows are always going to be in your country, by the way. So Manchester is my favorite place to play in the world. But I will say that it's hard to because Birmingham is such a close second, and London is always amazing, and Newcastle, all of it, it's always great. No matter, even Scotland is great, and Wales is great. But there's something about the way you guys do festivals, and there's just an energy that I don't think other countries quite know how to capture yet. Not that they're not great. We've done them in Canada, Europe, Japan, Australia, United States. I'm sure there's more, but there's just something about a UK festival crowd. There's something about how much of just part of your culture it is. And so, I have such great memories of our first Reading and Leeds and then several downloads, but there's that last Slam Dunk festival. I think I just didn't expect it. Because we hadn't played Slam Dunk in, I think 6 or 7 years. And so the last time we played Slam Dunk, we were just in like a soccer arena, but it wasn't even half full. And then the next day we played on a college.
Oh, that's when it was in the city.
On a university.
Yeah.
In Hatfield.
Yeah, in the university in Hatfield.
Yeah, and just out on this thing, and there were a few hundred people there.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was great, but it wasn't 30,000 people,
Yeah.
And so, when we got to Slam, there was just the lineup was perfect, and there were so many of our friends there, and it was just great. But yeah, one of my favorite performances of ours of all time. And
Yeah.
What's crazy about that though is that I had so many of those in the same few months. Like it's just like something was happening with Bowling for Soup. Like that show, and then we did Slam Dunk Italy, and then we got back home and we did Riot Fest in Chicago, and it was just all of these massive shows to where I could just feel this just energy and everybody singing every word to these songs that I wrote in my underwear in my kitchen at my kitchen table, it's just it's amazing to be out there 30 years later and people still caring.
Yeah, man, because I remember being stood on the top of the hill watching you at Slam Dunk last year, and not only the size of the crowd was something that stood out, but it was like you guys were still having fun and being silly up there, but you could tell that it felt different for every single one of you up there. Like I remember looking at yourself and Chris at a couple of points, and like you were both looking at each other being like, there's a lot of fucking people out there.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, again, because we didn't expect it. That's the thing. We knew that Slam Dunk was growing, and we've played in front of 100,000 people, before, but yeah, none of us expected that, and I, the other thing is like you get out there and you're like, we're playing after Flogging Molly. Like, are they sure? Like, is that?
And just before the Offspring as well, weren't you?
What's that?
Just before the Offspring as well, weren't you?
We were, yeah, just before the Offspring, and it was again that there's little things that happen in my life to where I'm just like because I've known Noodles for a few years, just passing and stuff, and we know who each other are, and I'm starting to look like him, which is weird, but I just looked over and Dexter was watching our show and nodding his head like that, and it's like, dude, that's an iconic dude, and just the fact that he's there and nodding along, it was that kind of stuff still just gets me. I still am surprised and very, very happy when things like that happen.
Hell yeah. You absolutely deserve it, man. Like you've written music that is going to live on forever with Bowling for Soup, and like your ultimate good time music. Like I've been a nightclub DJ in the alt scene for 10 years, and I can guarantee you, like for at least 80 to 90% of those DJ sets, there's been a Bowling for Soup song in there. Whether it's High School Never Ends, Girl All the Bad Guys Want, like your songs celebrate life in such a fantastic way, which is why no wonder like you make for such a great festival band, because it's like, cool, the drinks are flowing, everyone's having high energy. Usually it's sunny outside as well. Let's go fucking get silly with Bowling for Soup.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man, thank you. That's very kind of you. And it never gets old for me. Like if I'm sitting somewhere and one of my songs comes on, a lot of times it's, somebody's recognized me and put it into the queue of whatever's happening. But sometimes it's just by chance. And
is that what happened at that bar when you ended up going? When you ended up going up behind that girl while she was singing your tune.
So that story,
does she actually
it's so crazy because that video is so massive, but no, she knew I was there. I had already played my country show. So basically what had happened was she had come to see us play country. And I was sitting at the table right behind her. She just didn't know that I was behind her, but and I probably spoiled it for everybody listening to it because it does appear that just happened in the wild, right? But no, it was just that I had played this country show, and then the bar was like, now let's put on his real hits, and so they're playing, all of the big hits and shit. And then and I'm just dancing behind that girl, and she just didn't know I was there. So, man, it's crazy. It's funny what a viral video does.
Oh, yeah.
It's very weird. I had never really had one that massive before. So, but yeah, that's what happened there. And I started to try to, like, there was people that were like, she didn't even recognize him after she saw who it was behind her or whatever. And I'm like, I'd already signed that 3 things for that girl. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just gonna let people talk and figure it out, you know. But
Hell yeah, make your own narrative. As long as we get the numbers pumping up, that's all that matters.
go exactly.
those
You know
streams.
what? Call me fat, whatever. Somebody else will take up for me, and I got 5 more comments. You know, that's fine. Whatever.
They'll come back and still stream your songs anyway, man. Like you'll
100%. That's just it. Yeah, I know. I'm a cross between Jack Black and Chris Farley now, and I get it. Whatever. But I don't
mean,
know.
there's worse people to be compared to. One of the funny, or 2 of the funniest men alive, and one of them's got one of the greatest voices of all time.
You're exactly right, and I will take that comparison. I actually do need to trim my beard, though. It's funny. I usually keep this thing pretty short, but we've been off the road since before Christmas.
Oh, let's go.
And so I looked in the mirror a couple of days ago, really, and I was like, oh, I kind of get the Jack Black thing. Like I need a haircut. I need to trim my beard a little.
I think Jack Black looks cool with the
Yeah. Like I'm loving the shades that he's got, like with the 2 tones.
Oh yeah, totally, man. Yeah, he's that guy, and just what a ball of energy and positivity.
Have you ever met him?
The stuff that I haven't. No, I know that we would certainly hit it off.
Yeah.
We're very similar in personality, and I think probably sense of humor. But
Imagine that collaboration.
The stuff that he did during COVID on the internet, just, you know, like out there just making those dance videos,
Jablinski games.
It was just so great. You know, I tried to do that, you know, like just make people smile at a time when it's really hard to do that, you know, and he did a really good job.
Oh, an amazing job. And like, as of you over the years, my friend, like the smiles that you have put on people's faces will live forever. I mean, Ollie's got a really cool fact about Scuzz TV for you, actually, before I forget.
So I ran the channel until we eventually demised in 2018. And the last day it was on air, I basically just did a massive playlist throughout the day, but we didn't know exactly when it was going to turn off. And someone actually screen recorded it and put it on YouTube. So the last ever song played on Scuzz was "Girls All the Bad Guys Want," but it cuts off like halfway through a verse or something. So you were the last video ever on Scuzz TV.
I did know that, and I mean, it's sad. I'm honored, but gosh, it was so cool. That channel was so great, and even like, you know, the what do you call them? What do you call people that go and do interviews over there?
Like presenters. Even your presenters, like, you know, were all quality and added something to the interview, and you know, it was just always, and they were always very, very supportive.
Yeah, Terry, we had
Matt Stocks.
Sophie
K.
You know, what's funny is, I mean, Matt Stocks, we followed around from Kerrang to Scuzz to
being on tour with you.
Yeah, everywhere. He
does all the DJ sets.
Too,
yeah.
so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jaret, we cannot thank you enough for your time today, man. It has been amazing just listening to you tell stories. Like, we could carry on talking to you for another hour, but I know you're a very busy man. One sec, before we get out of here, one thing I did want to ask you, being a Texas man, are you a Cowboys or a Texans fan?
So neither.
Neither.
Fact,
Okay.
One of the reasons why I am anxious to get going on my day, I'm a Steelers guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck tonight against Buffalo.
Thank you. So my dad is from Pittsburgh. And so many of my, in fact, I just did a TikTok about this a couple of days ago. People are like, how are you a Steelers fan living in Texas all your life? And it's pretty easy. My dad, you know, again, from Pittsburgh. And then when I was a little kid, we were the dynasty. So like I was watching them win Super Bowls every year. And then every year for Christmas, just my dad's whole family, it was just Steelers stuff. And so, you know, and I just always loved the colors. And, you know, so born and raised Steelers fan.
Damn.
And so I'm a Cowboys sympathizer because so many of my friends love the Cowboys. But if it affects the Steelers in any way, I will 100% turn on them.
That's fantastic. Well, yeah, kickoff is in, a couple of hours' time?
Yeah,
and the
about an
Bills?
hour and a half. And so yeah, I told my wife I would do the dishes because her dad's coming over. And so I was supposed to do a show today, actually. That's the reason why I told you that I had a hard stop, but it's icing here. And what happens when it ices where we live is sometimes the power goes out. And
Ah.
I didn't want to be scrambling around trying to put on an acoustic show with the power going in and out. So I just moved my show to Wednesday. So this is I'm glad that I got to hang out with you guys a little bit longer because this has been awesome.
Oh, that's fortuitous. And that's very, very lovely of you to say, man. It's been an absolute honor like having you on here. Like, you're an absolute hero of both mine and ours. We grew up on your music. So getting the opportunity to ask you some questions has been an absolute honor. Thank you ever so much. So we've got...
You and I had met, I think during COVID doing like the game show thing.
Yep.
And
yeah,
then,
we did Rock the Week.
And then when I saw you at Slam Dunk, I remember just going, I did not realize how tall you were. Like, I knew you were a muscly guy, but I had no idea you were just like this massive dude.
Although sometimes he adds inches with his big boots.
I've started wearing Kiss platform boots now when I go out to shows, because like since doing the internet content thing, if I'm trying to take videos or live shows, the taller I can be, the less other phones are in shot. So yeah, I've started borrowing inches just like Gene Simmons.
Maybe that's what it was though. But I remember just going, I was telling Rob, I'm like, man, I've done like 5 things with that guy on the internet, and I would have never guessed that he was this tall.
Well, fun fact for you, I was going through my Instagram today. The first time I ever interviewed you was 10 years ago this year at a festival in Bristol. Hit the Deck?
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Hit the Deck Festival? Yeah. So 10 years of me sitting down and asking you questions, man. It's been an honor.
Well, dude, I am honored to still be someone that you would still want to talk to, and you guys are great. Good luck with the show, and
Thank you, man.
Anytime you need somebody to fill in and talk to you guys, just let me know.
Bro, that means the world. Thank you ever so much. So don't forget, my friends, you got Bowling for Soup UK tour pretty much sold out. There's like a handful of tickets at a couple of shows.
Yeah, Hull actually sold out, but they found some tickets. So there are some more tickets in Hull. Cardiff, man, we're trying to get everybody to go. That show is crazy. We were only supposed to do half the arena, and it looks like we're going to sell out the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And so it will be literally the biggest headline show of our career.
Oh, my days.
So we're hoping it looks like it's going to happen, but I don't want to point to the fence. I'd rather tell people like, hey, come see us in Cardiff. There's still some tickets left.
Well, I'm half Welsh. I'm always looking for excuses to go to ours. I'm gonna come see you in Cardiff if that's gonna be the case.
Bring it, man. Hey, come and hang and yeah, man. Love to see you. And it's Less Than Jake and a band from Texas called the Vandaliers.
Sick.
They've toured with Flogging Molly a whole bunch, and they're great. So it's gonna be a really fun night.
Hell yeah. Amazing. Well, my friends, there's a handful of tickets left to see Bowling for Soup live. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for Download Festival later on in the year. Country music as well is going to be on the way from Jaret at some point in 2024. My friends, show a lot of love and appreciation for one of the greatest of all time, Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup.
Cheers, for having me, guys.
Thank you, man. Take care. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go. Oh, that's one of my favorite interviews that we've ever done on this show, man.
Yeah. It's just very easy to talk to, isn't he?
Yeah. And stories for days, absolute days. Like, genuinely, like, we could have sat here and shot the shit for another hour, like, easily.
Yeah. He's got 30 years. I didn't know it was 30 years.
No, I didn't either. I didn't know.
I was trying to do the math in my head, but it's 1994.
Dude, he was as if he was 30 years old though when Bowling for Soup started breaking out and getting massive.
Because I assumed he was like early 20s or something. Because I was shocked when he said he's over 50.
Yeah, especially you watch the Girl All the Bad Guys Want music video. You're like, that genuinely looks like someone in their early 20s.
Do you know what? As a teenage boy, like the girl in that music video,
crush. Yeah, proper teenage crush. Well, my friends, that is going to do us for hour 1 of today's show. Don't you dare go anywhere, because we've got a lot coming your way in hour 2. We are going to be talking as much as possible without giving away spoilers about Bring Me the Horizons tour, which Ollie and myself were fortunate enough to see in Birmingham on Friday, and little bit of news, and then we'll react to something as well.
if there's not much been going on, is there?
Not really.
But we'll do our best.
But yeah, we'll talk Bring Me and do a reaction in a couple of minutes. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Yes, my friends. Welcome back to the Jon Mahon Show. Hour 2 kicks off. I was just having a little mosh to the entrance music there. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before, but you wrote that, didn't you?
Wrote it. Wrote the theme tune.
Yeah.
Sang the theme tune. I didn't sing it, but yeah, that's one of my riffs.
Yeah. Ollie's a very talented man behind a 6-string.
Yeah. And a 4-string.
And he's a good bassist as well.
And a G-string.
Well, in this hour, we're going to kick things off by talking about Bring Me the Horizons UK tour. Now, if you're watching right now and you've not been to the show yet, comment in the chat, no spoilers, and we will stay away from spoilers. Otherwise, if no one says anything, we might end up talking.
Oh, you want to spoil it?
I'll end up slipping something
John
out.
loves to know the set list before the shows anyway.
Absolutely. Pivotal.
Whereas I don't.
Pivotal.
I like to be surprised.
I'll tell you why. It's because of the beast that is content and the forever machine that we work towards just constantly uploading. And in order...
Just a cog in the wheel.
Yeah, just a cog in the machine, man.
Cog in the machine.
So
cog in the wheel.
Cog in the
A wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. So in order...
Content is king.
Yeah. In order to get the shots, you need to know when songs are happening and what to expect. So yeah, during the Bring Me show, I was looking at the set list like 4 or 5 times, being like, okay, cool, this song's coming at this song's
Surely it ruins the... Because sometimes some of like the production and the way they intro songs is like meant to be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. True. True. It's
But you already knew.
it's the price that you pay to the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But failing that, it is always good to look back
Yeah.
and have some videos of the shit that actually makes you pop as well. And I've never got a problem with people filming at gigs. You know how loads of people are like, oh, put your phone away, live in the moment. It's like, nah, fuck it, man. If you've paid money to go and experience this thing and you want to remember a specific part of that thing, take your phone out.
But I don't, yeah. Joe, I filmed some songs, but then I don't even do anything with it. I posted like a couple of clips.
And you post them on the Forever Loud.
Yeah. I posted, they played the new song Kool-Aid
Yeah.
for the third time ever. We saw it. And the production on that. So should we start off with Bring Me's production?
Production.
Probably one of the best productions in the game right now.
Yeah.
Just the way it was a similar setup to how they had it download.
Yeah.
But with updated visuals. And just like the detail that they put into every single song.
Yeah.
Every single song has its own identity, its own set of animations.
Yep, and even like the production that goes outside of the LED board. So, example, Shadow Moses. It starts snowing. It's very winter themed in keeping with the
they
music
actually
video.
had like the snow
falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, which is a nice touch.
Yeah, genius. Tunes like Amen, which is obviously a very post-human next gen. That's the first time they introduced fire in the set list, and that's the first time. Up until what I loved as well is they saved the flame pyro, so they built to it. They used CO2 first.
Yeah.
So you got CO2 blast on like the first 4 or 5 songs. Oh no, 4 songs. Then song number 5, Amen comes in, and all of a sudden it's like, cool, here's the gates of fucking hell.
My favorite part is they have different confetti for different songs.
Yeah.
I like the confetti.
Yeah, because there's heart-shaped confetti
Heart-shaped
for
for Can You Feel My Heart?
Yeah, genius. And it's like those small little details mean so much to fan bases. Like I remember when 21 Pilots were doing their trench tour and their confetti was yellow for that run to match like the album aesthetic.
Did you manage to get one of Mike M's when we were young?
No.
Do you know what the confetti was?
No.
Dollar notes with their faces on it.
Was it?
Yeah. We managed,
amazing.
everyone had like snatched them up, and there was one like behind the gate by the stage. So we asked like one of the people working back there if they could hand us one.
That's genius.
Got it, yeah.
Oh.
Probably worth something one day.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known that. Because, yeah, like when 21 Pilots sprinkled their confetti down on the trench tour, like in Jumpsuit, there's a bit in the music video where people are throwing stuff off a cliff, and like they sprinkled it at the point in that song, like in the music video. And it's like those small attentions to detail that you can't put a price on as a fan going to experience a show.
In Kool-Aid, they had the booby angel thing on the screens.
the 3-titted monster.
Yeah, but when the breakdown happens, the angel's like that.
Oh, is it?
Starting like a circle.
No, I missed that. That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if we're talking about those elements as well, Bring Me are recording a song at the moment live at these shows, and they're using fans to sample a specific part of that song.
Yeah, so apparently, I don't know, I mean, so they're going to do it this whole tour, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to use, I guess they have mics at the front of the stage.
Yeah, and just layer it.
Record this whole crowd singing something. We won't give it away.
Yeah.
But there's a few lines, and then, that'll sound insane on headphones.
Yeah. And did you notice at the end?
Now,
go on.
have you heard of Dolby Atmos?
No.
So a lot of major labels now are requesting that artists, especially big artists, get their music mixed for Dolby Atmos, which is like basically surround sound.
Oh, damn.
So there's new sort of speakers and headphones coming out that will be Dolby Atmos. So when you put them on, it's like sound from all over this place.
Damn.
So I imagine Bring Me will do something like that.
That's cool. I mean, again, like, make your shit sound as good as possible. Like, if you're going to make it sound as good as possible.
Just like a just hear me at the back. Hello, Ollie, you fucking know it.
Well, did you notice as well, after they finished playing, they played teaser clips? Oh, no.
During,
after the...
There was
no, it was before they recorded the audience. They played teaser clips.
Ollie's trying out his acting, isn't he?
Do you reckon?
Acting chops. I mean, there was like a back and forth between him and Evel, the AI thing. It was just funny because it was like, obviously it's pre-recorded, the AI thing, so Ollie has to go back and forth with it, and I thought his timing was a little bit off on some of them.
Occasionally, yeah.
But we don't love him for his acting.
And to be fair, like, given the speed of that segment, so basically like, the way it works is Ollie's like, I want to record a song with the crowd tonight, and then Eames like, do you mean this one? And he's like, no, do you mean this one?
No,
like,
not that one.
Yeah.
All right.
But what was
Some
interesting
Hollyoaks acting.
was one of the clips that played. There's a song called Limousine, and it's been going around the internet that song is going to feature Billie Eilish.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that?
So apparently Ollie commented on one of Billie Eilish's photos saying, want to do a song together. And then he just commented again a couple of minutes later just saying Limousine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine that.
But they've 100% confirmed got one with Under Oath because that
Yep.
was on the visuals.
Yep.
Wasn't there another one? I can't remember.
Was there another feature? I think there might be another feature. But yeah, it didn't have Billie's name on it.
But all the clips they played sounded fucking great.
Yeah, they sound insane. I think as well there's going to be a tune with Bad Omens on it.
Yeah.
I think that's a given.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we didn't get Antivist with Noah in Birmingham.
Yeah, Hassie just said that Antivist featuring Noah looked insane. The video, hopefully they play it on the EU tour. My favourite song, and I haven't seen it live yet. Yeah, so Noah's been coming out for Antivist, but in Birmingham, there was a really long crowd stoppage, like really, really long. And I don't know whether it was because of that Antivist with Noah got cut, but they still did Antivist, but no Noah.
Yeah. Although we did see Antivist with Caleb in Malta.
Yeah, we did.
That was very good.
That was obscene. And then Courtney came out for Chelsea Smile as well.
Ollie from Static Dress did Alligator Blood.
Ridiculous when you think about that throwback set.
Yeah. We've been spoiled for bringing me over
We really have. We really, really have. And spoil on this tour as well, like, again, not going into too much detail about the set list, but I will. The set opens with Dark Side, goes into Empire, Let Them Sing. When was the last time you heard that at a Bring Me show?
That was one of the ones I felt.
Oh, just reminding you that Sempiternal is basically an album of singles.
Yeah. It wasn't the only Sempiternal. Obviously did Shadow Moses, but they always do Shadow Moses.
Yeah.
What else did they do?
Antivist.
And then, is this a spoiler at the end?
The encore.
Encore.
That's
because
not-
I was like,
that's the spirit though.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
But I was like, they're definitely going to play Lost, definitely going to play Throne. Wasn't expecting Doom.
I
Doomed.
wasn't expecting Doomed either, but
But you looked at the set list, so you did. So you were.
I did look at the set list, but I had seen for the last couple of months, because weirdly, like, you know, when a band just trends on Twitter out of nowhere and it's just because loads of fans are talking about them at that time. There was a time where Bring Me were trending on Twitter. I just clicked on it and it was just loads of fans posting how much they love them. But there was one tweet that had like 1,000 likes, which is like, Bring Me need to put Doomed in the set list.
Yeah.
And they're a very active internet band. So I was wondering whether Ollie saw that tweet and went, do you know what? Let's open up the encore with it. Because, yeah, it's the song that opens up. That's the spirit. And as not just an album opener, but a set opener or an encore opener, you like hearing it live again, you forget how fucking hard that chorus hits. Like Ollie's false fold for set, like the scream that he does on it with that "So go raid on my parade."
Yeah.
Oh,
His voice was sounding incredible.
yeah, credit where it's due. Ollie sounded the best that he sounded. I will say, man, like there was a noticeable absence of that Jordan Fish there.
Yeah, but
Like it felt weird.
the other guitarist, which I never remember his name, that you thought this is the first time you've ever seen him.
Genuinely.
Even though he's been playing with them for the past 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
He was stepping up to do some vocals,
yeah,
and he didn't sound bad.
yeah. It's just not Jordan.
Yeah. I think John had a very distinctive, he could do like some of the bits that Ollie would drop out for.
It was him and Ollie's harmonies and the way their voices worked in tandem with each other. Like I love so much. Like, yeah, over the years I've done so many like questions and stuff like on Instagram, just asking people various different nerdy things. And like one question I remember asking is like, what is the best like backing vocalist combo in rock music? You know, like you got I Prevail, who've got the dual vocalist combination. You've got
Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Blink, but they're both lead, I guess.
Blink would be a great answer because it's just dueling vocalists, like two people who play off each other in the back. The Blackout, like the way those boys rolled, like it's something that can make a band sound so unique in comparison to everyone else. It's like I Prevail, I don't think would be the same band if it was one person trying. Little Mix, it's a great example. But I don't think I Prevail would be the same band if it was one person trying to do both of those things.
Yeah. Well, they've got this sort of, like the screams, rap, and the singing, which they both take on. Yeah,
and you know it adds such an element to the band. So yeah, like that is heartbreaking. But I mean, overall, it goes to show that Bring Me the Horizon still and probably will continue to be the biggest band in the world.
Yeah. Especially if they've got Billie Eilish on a new track.
Yeah, jeez.
Like, that's going to just bring... If it is true, it's all speculation.
Hearsay.
But that's going to bring so many new eyes and ears to Bring Me.
Well, I mean, look at what Billie Eilish did for Not Loose, man. Yeah. Like, the fact that Billie Eilish went to watch Not Loose side of stage at Coachella, then all of a sudden you've got like Coachella people going to Not Loose shows because they're like the cool heavy band to like.
Yeah. You've got little kids going... Arf, arf.
Arf, arf. Yeah. Not loose, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But
yeah, how would you rank that Bring Me show in all the Bring Me shows you've seen?
It wasn't as good as Download.
See, I think it was on par with Download for me.
Do you think?
I liked the progression of the production. Because obviously I thought it was just going to be the same thing, but they like obviously updated.
Oh, they juiced it. They juiced it up. Like for me, it wasn't as good as Download because
Download's production. I did, but I guess because you're on a bigger stage and it's outdoors, you get away with a lot more fire.
Yeah, but what I will say is it's the best arena show that I've ever seen from Bring Me. And one thing we didn't mention whilst we were nerding out about production is the fucking laser show, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Bro.
Itch for the
Cure. Into Kingslayer. Whoever programmed that laser show should be booked up for the rest of their life putting together laser shows, because whatever they did for that package.
I like that they held off on it until those songs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa, lasers.
But that's what I mean with the way in which this production was structured. It was like they started out so minimal and then built to the gates of hell opening with Throne at the end. It's like start with CO2 blasts. I think they have like confetti and streamers on Dark Side and one other song. Then fire comes in on Amen. Yeah. Then lasers come in. Then the more you get towards the end, it's like the more they're just hitting the everything button.
What the most touching moment of the show was?
Was it Strangers?
Drown, when Ollie had the camera and what he was filming was on the screens. And he was going into the crowd and singing with all the fans.
Yeah,
and you could see how much it meant to those kids at the front, because the kids that are in the front, they've been there for hours,
24 hours.
Show probably doors open at 5:30. They've been there since then.
Some people camp out the night before. I don't know if that's still a thing.
They haven't been to the toilet once. They've just been at the front, waiting, and then they get rewarded with that. Yeah. It was like touching. Seeing
an arena band break that massive room down to feel that intimate to their front row core audience, like is something that, as you said, it's a life-changing memory that people will hold on to forever.
Yeah. I bet those kids are still talking about it now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You would. Like
they haven't washed since
Ollie rubbed up against this right cheek.
Oh, he's sweat on me.
So yeah, if you're off to go and see Bring Me the Horizon, hopefully we didn't spoil it too much for you, but if you've already been to see Bring Me the Horizon, let us know your thoughts in the comments, what you enjoyed about it, what you loved about the show, the set list, the production. And one thing that we didn't talk about was how good Bad Omens were as a support band as well.
Very good. Noah sounded insanely good. His voice was incredible.
Yeah, like just tight.
And their production was great. I was chatting to one of their lighting laser guy and videographer guy afterwards, and he was like, basically because they had to scale what they had down to fit, so basically it sat on top of Bring Me set. So if you notice, they basically, it's like a stage on a stage, so they can just pull it off and put it back on. And But yeah, it was like they just built that rig just for this tour, and it's basically like a little arena show because they had the screens in there, they had like lighting rigs, and like it was very well done.
Yeah. And if you're talking about using space economically as well, like as a support band to a band on a arena show like that, you're gonna have to set up in front of whatever they got. That's just the way it is. But
well, it was kind of like obviously Bad Omens got a bit more space, but then like Cassia and Static Dress basically had like the core of the stage to work with. Yeah.
And again, like, you know, the lower down you are in an arena build, the more that's going to be the game you got to play. But as a main support, it's very rare to see a main support get that much wiggle room with what they want to do. And what I loved is how economically Bad Omens use that space. So like, as Ollie mentioned, they've got 2 screens either side, but then they had like these like claws that were like LED lights clawing back over onto themselves over the top of the band, and again it made it feel like Bad Omens had their own stage.
But I feel like Bad Omens at some point in the near future are going to be doing headline arenas on their own.
Without a doubt.
So it's kind of, and then like their sound, excuse me, like it suits arenas, that music. Like just the massive choruses and like the crowd were loving it. Joe, I don't think I've seen an arena that full for a support band.
No,
because it was literally full from the front to the back.
Yeah, and in the seats as well.
And in the seats as well. Yeah.
And what I loved, and you very rarely get this with a support band, this is usually headliner territory. If a headline band have got LED screens on, they'll be flashing up lyrics to songs, especially the newer ones.
Yeah.
Bad Omens having their own screens meant they had the luxury of flashing lyrics up to songs. So if they're playing to brand new fans and brand new eyes and brand new ears who, you know, might not have heard a Bad Omens song before,
they've Paramore got song.
Yeah.
Great Paramore record. Brand New Eyes.
Oh, Brand New Eyes. Let's go. He's always vigilant, Ollie. Always vigilant. And
so I've got these brand new eyes. I'm tired today. My puns aren't slinging.
You're batting a high average, my friend. But yeah, Bad Omens had the luxury of being able to flash lyrics up, which means if you don't know any of these songs, you can still sing along to them because you're getting told what to sing. And it's like all of a sudden you'll leave that show with a Bad Omens song stuck in the back of your head, and you're more likely to go and check that band out because of it.
Yeah. Although saying that, there was a lot of singing along. There was a lot of people that knew the song.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's not discrediting like the Bad Omens collective that turned up, but it means like on top of that, on top of having your own representation there, the new fans that you're going to pick up are going to be a lot in more of an abundance.
Because you forget that a lot of Bring Me's fan base are probably quite new.
Yeah.
Probably like Ammo onwards. So they don't know.
Bring Me are in such a great position, and it's a similar position of Fall Out Boy, where they're like the older Bring Me get, the more young fans they seem to keep bringing in. Like the bigger the band gets, the more young fans find them, discover them, and fall in love with them. Because I guarantee you there'd have been anywhere from 10-year-old fans all the way through to 60-year-old fans at that Birmingham show.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
even like Joe. I was where I was sat. There was a guy and his mum.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
She was loving it. She knew all the words.
Yeah, there you go. So, like, Bring Me are a generational band. Very similar to Bowling for Soup and what we were chatting with Jaret about in hour 1, where Jaret was saying, like, he's now at the stage where he's seeing 3-4 generations of Bowling for Soup fans turning up at shows. And it's like, hey, I was playing to your granddad years ago at this pub show, and now like, I'm playing to the grandkid. It's like, that's what Bring Me the Horizon are going to be doing. It's like, they are so accessible for a younger generation with the aesthetic, with,
Well, they have just painted the blueprint of heavy music for the last 10 years.
At least
they do an album, and then other bands will.
Could even argue before that, man, because like there was a lot of copycat off there as a hell.
The whole career has basically just been like so many bands copying what Bring Me the Horizon are doing, and then they change up the sound, and then the other bands change up their sound.
Yeah. And not every band's been bold enough to do it how Bring Me have done it. Like, if you imagine, you couldn't see a band like I Prevail going into studio and doing a record like Ammo.
No, although they got the pop.
They do, they do. But I mean, like, as direct as Ammo was, just in terms of being like, hey.
But the thing is, Ammo, I feel like people forget that Mantra is on Ammo.
Dude, everyone forgets
What's
about
the one? What's the one with
Wonderful Life.
Danny? Yeah, Wonderful Life. So they've still got the heavy songs like
Dude. So
Heavy
yeah,
Metal.
Mantra, Wonderful
Sugar, Honey,
Life,
Iced
Sugar
Tea.
Honey Iced Tea, yep. Mother Tongue. Heavy Metal is a great one for me.
what
man.
a song.
Just because of the fact it's such a fuck you.
Yeah.
It's such a fuck you.
Cause a kid on the gram in a
Black Dahlia tank says it ain't heavy metal.
Yeah, but it's like that album. Yeah, it has like really poppy songs, but a lot of the songs aren't that far away from regular Bring Me songs.
No. And I feel like that album opened up the floodgates for a record like Posthuman, because Bring Me basically just went, yeah, we can still do, we've never not been able to do the heavy stuff. It's the other sounds that we wanted to fuck around with. Like it's, you know, the more melodic composition or the pop composition or, you know, playing around with synthesizers, beats, like different aspects on features. It's like allow a band to go and fuck around for a little bit and find a new lane and a new motive.
But that's what I really like about Kool-Aid.
Yeah, man.
It seems to have brought all those bits from like old Bring Me to new Bring Me into one. Like they've still got like the heavy bits.
I love that chorus, man. Like the way Ollie goes into the falsetto on top and then goes all the way down.
It's such a good song. I've listened to it quite a few times now.
Yeah.
I think it gets better the more you listen to it.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of Bring Me the Horizon songs instantly become earworms. Like, do you remember like the first time we heard Strangers in Malta? Like we were like, that's a chorus.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a flat out fucking chorus. And hearing that acoustically actually at the arena show was a nice little
cliche acoustic number.
Yeah.
That's what Ollie said.
Yeah. But it's a great number to put acoustically though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very nice moment. But I feel like we talk about Bring Me a lot on this channel.
We do. Yeah, we absolutely do.
It's the Bring Me the Horizon show with Jon Mahon.
Yeah. And, you know, occasionally we switch lanes to Sleep Token.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Obey was in the set list as well, Elliot pointed out.
Yeah. No Youngblood.
Yeah, I thought they might have done something video based. They've done that before though, haven't they?
Well, they have like it's like just an animation of
like a robot.
Yeah, a robot singing it. But I reckon he'll probably come out in like London or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a very good
Or
show.
are they playing Sheffield?
Yes.
That'll be a big one, wouldn't it? Hometown
Friday.
show.
Yeah, on Friday. So, yeah, if anyone has seen Bring Me the Horizon, let us know your thoughts. And if you're going to see Bring Me the Horizon, you're going to have a fucking amazing time. So, yeah. Bring Me review. Tick.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I give it. And that's high for me.
That is very high for you. Yeah, I
don't often give 10s. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, download is a flat 10 out of 10 for me. So, yeah, I'd agree. 9 out of 10.
Great review from us.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's the only critics you need.
Yeah, we are the voice of music.
Yeah.
Not just in the UK, but around the world as well.
21-year-old man. And a 21-year-old man. I'm not 35. So what are we talking next? You want to touch on an album that has been out for a while.
Yeah. So when Ollie got to the studio today, I said that all I've been listening to recently is the Main. And this happens every time the Main drop a new album. They drop a new album. I listen to it like 2 or 3 times, enough for it to make my top 10 albums of the year. And then I place it way too low. And then at the start of the year, when there's no new music to listen to, I'll listen to that Main album fucking days on end and go, why did I not put this higher in my albums of the year? And that's exactly what's happened this year. So the Main dropped a self-titled album last year, and it has got just all killer, no filler. It's about half an hour in length, and it's everything that I say that should make this band one of the biggest bands in the world. Choruses for days, melodically beautiful. Like, Jon's voice sounds amazing. His lyrics are fucking fantastic. Like, how are this band not one of the biggest bands on the planet? And it's very 1975-y in places. Yeah. Like, it feels like indie pop, rock, daytime radio.
Sort of janky, guitar riffy, like, sort of picked melodies that counteract with each other. And yeah, I think they've been doing that for a while now.
They just write such nice songs, man.
I really love their guitar tone.
Yeah.
Because it's not super clean. It's got a little bit of crunch to it, but it's just so pleasant.
It
cuts through the mix so nice.
It's a nice sound. Like they put together nice sounds really well.
Even live, I remember seeing them when we were young, and their guitar tone was just
man. And
chef's kisses.
dude, like I've seen him live a good few times now, and I like one of the highlights that I've seen him was that When We Were Young festival, because you got that collaboration with Charlotte Sands and Adam Lazara from Taking Back
Sunday.
They
came out, didn't they?
On Loved You a Little. Loved You a Little for me is one of the greatest songs released in the last 10 years.
Adam Lazara came out in a poncho, if I remember.
Did he?
Looked like a Mexican.
Did he look like Jared Leto?
Yeah.
So the song that I want to play for Ollie and for you
Jared
right now,
Leto.
because Ollie's not heard this, and I don't know if
Is this
you've heard this either. So this is the main.
Is this new one? Is this like
This came out 5 days ago,
5 days
but it's
ago.
off.
It's off the album.
It's off the album. So what they're doing at the moment is the album self-titled. It's called The Main. But what they're doing is they're releasing some of the big songs off that album with other bands doing guest vocals. So they did one for Thoughts I Have While Lying in My Bed with Beach Weather. Have you had a Beach Weather?
No,
Oh, they're right.
I felt it.
Yeah. But the one you're about to listen to is called Leaving 5, and it features Mr. Wives. Have you heard of them?
No.
No.
Got my finger on the pulse. New music.
I've heard of them a handful of times, but when I saw their name, because I've just seen the name around, but when I saw their name on this, I was like, I'll give it a listen. And like, oh yeah, just hit play. It's so fucking good, man.
No, I feel like
Maybe this is make-believe, or maybe I was lost in the lights. I lit up almost literally, burning out of
Oh, isn't that the famous swimming pool?
Well, look at the wall. We've got Seven Dust up in there.
Yep. In
In
97.
1997, Steve Aoki, I imagine.
Yeah, February 2018, the Colony tour. I don't know.
Macklemore was here.
Yeah.
Volbeat.
And then fucking Volbeat. What a random assortment of artists. Seven Dust, Aoki, Volbeat, and whoever Ra Raw is.
a million times. So if I call your number and I see you're leaving 5, wait on me, don't wonder if I've been waiting all night out of nowhere.
that bass line.
On fire,
Right?
but she don't care. Try to keep quiet, honest I swear. Baby's on fire, but she don't care.
What do you think?
Again, I love their production. It's
Right.
it's so clean. Like everything sits in the mix so nice. I like it. Like it a lot.
It's daytime rock radio at its finest, man. Like, I don't understand how, like, you don't just turn on Radio 1 and you hear a song from The Main.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I mean, yeah. You'd think American radio, they'd get some more plays.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they're a very similar size in the States to how they are in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, maybe fractionally bigger in America, but not by a lot.
So who do we have to speak to?
Yeah.
Get them bigger.
But this is where the feature comes in.
Naked like it's New Year's Eve. Falling on the 4th of July. I fever like you won't believe.
Got a nice voice.
Right?
Burning at a million times. So if I call your number and I say I'll leave in 5.
And there's something about the way John O'Callaghan's voice harmonizes with like a female vocal, because with Charlotte Sands on Loved You a Little, the way their voices harmonize with each other was just addictive. And it's the same with this Mr. Wives collaboration. Like, when this chorus hits in a second, the notes that she gets up to, like, compared to like where John just sits, it sounds, again, like you were saying about a collection of nice noises. It's just nice to listen to.
Scratches that bit of your brain. It's real good.
Yeah, good frequencies.
Wait on me, don't wonder
fact the album's only half an hour long, it's just like straight
Straight
hooks.
to the point, isn't it? No messing around.
And I see you're leaving fire. Wait on me, don't wonder.
Bro, this last chorus.
Wait on me, wait on me, wait on me, don't.
There's that guitar tone that you're on about as well.
Well, that's a bit more lo-fi crunch.
Bit fuzzy.
I like it though.
Been waiting all night, out of nowhere.
You know what I mean?
Baby's on fire, but she don't care. Try to keep quiet, honest I swear. Baby's on fire, but she don't care. Been waiting all night, out of nowhere. Baby's on fire, but she don't care. Try to keep quiet, honest I swear. Baby's on fire, but she don't care. No.
Mate.
It's a good song.
And I'm such a fan as well of bands releasing an album and then just teaming up with other people and writing like new harmonies or just like making that song come to life in a slightly different way with just a secondary voice on it. I love that idea. Keep the album cycle rolling.
Yeah. And I guess new year, get more people on the main ship. I don't know.
No. Oh, the main shit. Oh,
The
okay. Go with it.
main-
Yeah.
In the main vein.
The main, yeah. Mainland.
Mainland.
Yeah. There we go.
You should start a fan club page called The Mainland.
All right, let's do some
Get the main
shout outs.
number one.
We've got Elliot who got in touch to say about, I think,
Get John Reed.
talk about Bring Me the Horizon. Say, oh, yo, how's it going, guys? We're good, Elliot. How are you, bro? And then that was, talk about Bring Me the Horizon and saying, I think it was the same level for download, but for different reason. Ollie, well done for explaining why.
Yeah, so he agrees with me. It was on the same level as
As
download.
Right, with you. With you. Right, my friends. That's pretty much time for today, isn't it?
Yeah, don't want to bore you.
Yeah, like that was a fucking show.
Slow news week.
Yeah.
But it's the new year, isn't it? It's no one can be asked doing it.
Yeah, I don't have a guest lined up yet for next week, but I'll see if I can get us 2 guests, one for hour 1, one for hour 2, whilst we're on a bit of a slow news time at the moment. Don't forget, we did a 2023 roundup. That was our last show last year, and on that we do like album of the year, songs of the year, festivals of the year. So if you want to go and check out some new tunes, I think I listed off 50 songs for songs of the year.
It's a struggle to listen through that, but yeah.
Thanks for
I'm kidding.
Ollie's like,
2
I
hours.
zoned out after 10 minutes.
2 hours of pure gold.
Yeah, just me.
Stick it
and-
on at the gym.
Yeah.
Got a long drive.
Got a long drive and you want to discover some new tunes, go to that show.
You can't listen to them, but you can listen to us talk about them.
Well, no, what you can do is you can listen to like us.
Then stop it, but be careful if you're driving.
Oh, yeah. Maybe don't do that if you're driving, but then, yeah, cue up some fire.
Listen to the whole episode, then listen to the songs.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah?
Yeah, sound. Right, all that's left for me to say is my name's Jon Mahon. Peace and love. Stay alive.
I'm Ollie Rout. Go fug yourselves.
Take care.
Bye.